Hello and welcome to GOTO Chicago, where today I have the pleasure to interview Jez Humble, the author of Continuous Integration and now in Enterprise.
Yes.
And I'm Einar Corey, I'm part of the PC, so I've taken part in inviting you to this conference, and I enjoyed your talk yesterday.
Thank you.
Immensely, and also looking forward to reading your book. But I would also like to talk to you about other conferences. So you've started a new conference called FlowCon.
That's right. So we did it last year, kind of relatively small scale, and people seem to really like it. So yeah, we're doing it again, co-production between Thoris and Trifork. And yeah, we've just got off the call where we've confirmed all the speakers. So we've got some really fabulous, high-profile people coming to talk to us. Keynotes include Mary and Tom Popendick and Marty Kagan, who almost never gives talks, so we're very lucky to have him. And we have a number of other great people who come through our CFP as well, so it's a very exciting program. I can't wait, I'm really looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm. And how come that FlowCon is now? Why not 10 years ago or 10 years from now?
That's an excellent question. I wish I had done it 10 years ago, but unfortunately still working on the secrets of time travel. But I think what we've seen in the last few years is just a re-emphasis on the fact that in order to move fast at high quality and produce great products and services, you need really tight, effective collaboration between everyone involved in the process. UX, developers, product people, testers, operations, and continuous delivery is part of that, but continuous delivery, the capability to release fast in a low-risk way, enables the product people to actually get much faster feedback on what's actually valuable and what users really care about. And that is an amazingly powerful capability. That's a competitive advantage for businesses. And so the conference really is about, well, how do you harness this competitive advantage to be able to get fast feedback on what your users care about and what they love, and use that to build really fabulous products and services.
And that's very good for the managers and the marketing people, but is it also good for the developers?
Well, I mean, my experience has been that when you talk to people who've done this, it's fabulously empowering and exciting. The ability to make a change, push it out, see people actually use the code you've written pretty quickly and then be able to react to that is just so exciting from a development and engineering point of view. Whereas, as opposed to the kind of old way of doing things where you write some code and then weeks or maybe months later it goes into production. Even I've worked on projects where the code hasn't gone into production until after I've been moved to a different project. That's miserable.
So it's instant gratification.
Yeah.
For instance, like when you want to lose weight, if you eat a cake, it doesn't show until a few days after. But if you eat a cake and you can actually measure it right after, maybe.
Right. Yeah. If your belly just pops straight out, and you could see actually this is going to be really bad for my beach holiday, maybe you would not eat the cake.
So that's continuous integration.
Much like continuous integration, yes. Like instant cake.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And you pointed at some very good examples from the Google development yesterday in your talk, and they do it massively.
Yeah, well, continuous integration at Google, I mean, people worry about whether continuous integration scales, and of course the answer is that continuous integration is the only process that actually scales. I mean, Google has more than 10,000 developers worldwide. They have an enormous Perforce repository. Everybody works off trunk in that Perforce repository. They build everything off trunk. Everything goes out from builds that come off trunk. People do not work in long-lived feature branches. And I think that can be surprising for people who think that CI is only for small teams. In fact, feature branches don't scale. So yeah.
But what's the cost? Because I do consultancy in Denmark in different small and bigger companies. And they all want to do continuous integration, automated tests and stuff like that, but they find it so hard to get started.
Yeah.
And so how do you get started with an old company where here we are the testers, we're the developers, we're the ops? And
it's hard, and there's no silver bullet. I think the mistake people make is to say we're going to do everything in 1 year and try and change everything, and of course that doesn't work. No. And I think what you have to do is find one particular product and service which is high value and where the people are enthusiastic about trying out something new and where they're capable of doing something new, and experiment there and get something working there and gradually roll it out through the organisation. That's the way that I've seen kind of be effective. But if people aren't interested or they're not capable, then you're going to find it tough. And then also if testing is outsourced or operations is outsourced, that's really hard as well. So you need to focus on being able to have those people collaborate very effectively, which means them being in the same place.
Yeah, yeah. So one final question. In 2017, where do you hope we are with continuous integration?
I hope I am on my island in Hawaii because I don't need to be talking about it anymore because everyone's doing it.
Well, then I think we should think. Thank you very much, Jez. I'm glad you could come.
Thanks for having me.